do a lot to bring this breezeway up to where we wanted it to be. We are at a point today that I'm pleased to be able to come before you and to share with you that we do have a lot done. We have something that we can be proud of. There is more that we want to do, and I'll tell you about that as I finish my remarks today, but we think we can really add to this. Now, you may ask, why is this project important? It's just a walkthrough. Why is it important? We all know now why it's important. It's access. There are two parking lots that you enter from Commerce, and those parking lots eventually are going to need some repaving. We've gone in, the Beautification Commission, a member, Mariana Davis, has gone in and planted some flowers and pruned up the crepe myrtles and tried to get those parking lots looking better. But if we really want people to start parking back there, then there are things that we're probably going to have to do to make that a more welcoming environment and to make the breezeway something that people are really going to use. And I think after we've invested in it like we have, the time and the energy. And by the way, I want to thank Josh. I thought he was going to be here tonight, but he's not.
Yeah.
But
He's listening to you.
oh, he's listening to me. Hey, Josh. I want to thank Josh. He has been with this project all the way through. That's one thing that the mayor told me immediately. If you're doing some kind of construction or something we have to get bids on, then I want Josh involved. And thank you for that advice, because he has been invaluable to us. And as we were getting bids for the work and doing the work, he handled that for us. So I know it met the city procedures and things that you needed to have done. But again, it's access. And if we want to have those two parking lots used, then that breezeway is an important part of that. So I also want to thank our committee. Corinne is here. She's on our committee. Laura Jane Jacalia is on our committee. Lisa Miller was, and Kate Holder is. And this committee is still active. We're still working, and we will continue to work. As we started this project, and Josh, you may want to tell them about what we found in the roofing when we went into the roof.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
We started, main purpose of this project was kind of to clean up and structurally stabilize the existing alley. And that consisted of tearing off the whole back, I believe 60 feet of the alley all the way to the roof line. Took it all the way open to the sky to rebuild the entire roof structure. Once we fixed that contract, we then had to put a whole new Duralast roof over the alley. We then moved inside, working on all the new electrical to light it up, and we put in a lot of future conduits to be accommodating of any of the future ideas and some of the plans they have long range in the alley. And then finally, the last was fixing the south wall by installing a new EFIS wall, and then hiding all the electrical behind it. So I'm pretty pleased with the result. Glad we finally got to this point, getting it wrapped up, or this phase.
Well, let's always say this phase, because we are going to go into hopefully another phase as we move forward. But thank you, Josh, because as I said, his leadership on this project has been wonderful, and he has continued to help us with making these decisions. I have some slides that I'd like people to look at. Do you have them done?
No, I just had pictures that Lisa sent me.
Can you pull those up?
They're in their Dropbox.
Okay, can y'all pull those up?
There were more in the Dropbox this afternoon. It's only
yes.
two. It was like 7 of them.
Yeah,
this
some of them
afternoon.
they weren't
Well,
opening
they're
up.
back. The one you're looking at now that I'm seeing on Danny's machine is the finished product. It's where we are now.
Mhm.
We did have some to show you of how it looks before. Did you get those?
We did. They were on here earlier. I don't see them now.
Actually, the roof was kind of a hazard. It had those tile hanging.
I had holes all in it.
And holes all in it, and everything up there was rotten. And if it had fallen, it could have been a real problem for us. So getting that fixed in itself was just something that had to be done, and that was costly, as you can imagine. But you can look at where we are today and see that we do have a cleaned up, renovated. I wanted you to see the picture that had the old mural on it. We think that mural was from 1950s or 60s. Been there a long time, and we had thought originally we'd try to take it down and not tear it up, but that could not be done. We could not save it. So but there's really been nothing done to this for a very long time. So you can see that now we have a clean breezeway. It's well lit. And so if people want to use it, I think they will feel safe. Some of the things I'm going to tell you that we want to do will make it even better for people. But now we are where we can come to you and show you the results of what we've done. We do have some problems still. We have problems with the alley, where the visitors will actually enter that breezeway to get to Sharp Street. They will enter off of that alley. And Danny is well aware of this as a business owner, but behind in that alley, we have garbage. We have dumpsters that are all different companies. They're putting all different places. There's no continuity. It's just backload. So if we want people to come into our city and see our city in a positive light, we're going to have to do something with that. We've been out early one morning to look at all of that. There's a discussion about trying to get the business owners to agree to go with one company that will be a consistent look to the dumpsters, and then finding a place that we could put them so they won't be just wherever they are. And if you'll look at that, they are just scattered throughout. I think overall, the business owners are keeping the alley cleaner now. Do you agree with that, Ben? I think, the chamber had a big cleanup and we cleaned up the alley, and I think now everybody is really working hard on keeping it cleaner. We just still have some more issues with the dumpsters and with the things that have to happen back there. We also have issues with the lighting in the parking lot. We have requested of Entergy that they replace 6 bulbs that are out with LED lights. Brandy has filed that paperwork. She had also asked if we would call Entergy to see if we could push a little bit on that. So I called Cheryl Cummins last week, and she said she would place the call and to stay in touch with her. And so we'll keep pushing on trying to get that done. Just getting those LED bulbs will probably help us tremendously with the parking, the lighting in that parking area. Moving forward, what we need. The floors are clean, but they really do need a concrete overlay. I have asked Chris Collins just to look at that and come back and tell us what that would look like, how much, approximately what that might cost us to do some kind of concrete overlay and maybe do some kind of scored concrete. All of this is, none of it's decided. We're all in the discussion. We also need signage. If we expect people to be able to use this, we're going to have to put a sign off the alley and say downtown, and there we're coming through the breezeway. And then we're going to have to put a sign at the front of the off of Sharp that says parking and point them through the breezeway. The issue there becomes we have a awning that is over 2 areas. It's over the breezeway and it's over the store that was Food Fix and is now new. Can't remember the name of the new store, but that awning is either going to have to be cut in half or we're going to have to take all of it down. I had talked to the owner of the Food Fix building. He agreed originally that we could take the whole awning down and that he would pay for his part to be taken down.
Is the awning on Sharp Street or on the backside?
Awning's on Sharp Street.
Okay.
And that's Rosenthal, Sam Rosenthal. Now, I've not talked to Mr. Rosenthal lately, but I need to and talk to him about that. Again, we do need to replace those bulbs. We also probably need, there's doors, security doors, kind of gates on the both ends, but they're old, they don't look very attractive. So eventually we probably need to think in terms of some kind of security doors that maybe have some kind of automatic locking system at night, so that at 11 o'clock, it's going to lock it so that you won't have people sleeping in the breezeway. And of course, you could also have a button where they could get out if they have to get locked in there. But all of that will have to be discussed, but we do want to look at security doors for both entrances. And then we are going to request that Public Works looks at this and cleans it. I hate to ask Public Works to do anything else. I know their plate is very, very full. But once a week or once every 2 weeks, somebody just needs to go in there and blow it. And if there's any graffiti, we need to keep it taken down if we can. So far, we haven't had any graffiti lately. We did when we were going through the remodel of the freezer. So, Corinne, what about this?
It doesn't sound like it. That's even better.
To do going forward, was making it a destination place for the people who will park in the park. And they'll want to go through the alleyway because it's interesting. And that's a great idea. So,
We really do. We dreamed at the very beginning of all this, and then we have to back up to reality when we got into the project. But the dream is that eventually, if you walk through that alleyway, you know how you see these places where they have the wonderful Christmas lights, and as you walk into something, the lights are changing, or there's Christmas music playing. Well, there could be all kind of creative things done with that. We could have the lights changing. We could have welcome to Cleveland, Mississippi, and a message that's they're listening to as they go through the breezeway. That's we need to get these other things done, and then we need to go back to dreaming. So,
Let me ask you a dream question.
okay.
So, it's kind of inconspicuous. When you're going down the street, you really don't know what's there.
That's the
So
reason-
y'all gonna do anything around the outside of it,
Yeah, that's the
painting
reason.
wise to,
That's the reason we've got to get that signage.
and it needs to be perpendicular. Because if you're going down the street and it's up against flat on the top, you can't see
You
it.
wouldn't
So
see it,
when you're
yeah.
coming down the street, and you're not used to being in Cleveland, it needs to be a sign that's perpendicular to the building.
okay.
So that when you wait out the street, you still see it.
No, what I was thinking about is painting around the side of it, like an arc or something around it, so that it's more visible, that it breaks those bricks.
Well, Gary, in our original dreaming, we had a beautiful entrance on both sides that was framed on both sides. We've been told we can't do the one we wanted to do in the alley because of the electrical, that it would interfere with something with that. But I still think we could do something.
I'm talking about painting it, I'm talking about painting it on the bricks.
Well, that could be, but that would be a lot cheaper than what we wanted to. We have spent a total on this project in 2 years of $88,196.53. You had graciously given us some funding. Earlier, it was delayed because of COVID, and then you gave us some funding again this time because we needed to go in with FL Crane and put a wall up, because when that mural came down, we were hoping that we could just paint and fix that, but it just couldn't be done. It just looked horrible. So WL Crane went in and put the wall up, and so it does look so much better. But I need to, Dominic, get with you and find out exactly what we have left, because we will be coming before you.
Yeah,
with
and our
those
budget
requests.
system is going to be a little quicker this year, so I probably need to get with Josh and some of this wish list and dream list. We need to
Okay,
go and get prices on pretty quick.
we will.
We
Because
feel
we do
like
have-
if we can make it a destination place where you go through and there's like we're interviewing you, or we're interviewing the board, and we're saying the board approved, whatever, and just make it really interesting that people will enjoy coming through it, because right now they're scared to even go because they haven't seen it.
Yeah, they don't have a clue.
Friends, I said, well, you seen the alleyway, and they'll say, well, I'm scared to go. I said, but you need to see it now,
Yeah,
because it's a happy place to go.
right.
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
We spoke of security. Have we thought about maybe leaving a camera inside that will do?
We've talked about that, and that may be what we have to do, is get some kind of camera. We don't have that, but that's a good idea, maybe something we definitely need to do.
Well,
Anything else?
I think one question, Danny, maybe you can help with this, is we have talked about the garbage situation. Of course, that's not city, that's you owners. You think between Team Cleveland, beautification, or how can we get
I don't-
something going on that? Because we just talk about it, kick the can down the road.
The problem is, all businesses don't have the dumpsters. And consequently, people in town use their dumpsters.
I've heard
It
that.
costs me about 200 extra a month, 300 extra a month, because people are throwing mattresses and everything.
I've heard that.
But I don't know. I'll look at it just to see. I am not, as a business owner, for taking my dumpster and moving it down the street somewhere else, because you can't control it. I've got a camera on mine now,
Okay.
and I know that the children's shop right next to me moved theirs actually on their property. I mean, we could do the same, but that doesn't really help. That doesn't help.
Well,
Would you
think-
go out one morning and just look at it with us?
Sure.
Let's talk about
Sure.
it.
I think until somebody actually takes the bull by the horn.
Yeah.
Property owner's the best one to do it. in my
I like the
opinion.
way that the Cotton House did it when they put up a little barrier. And yeah, and
There's a space that Josh has talked about that we could,
Again,
we'll need to go out
it
and
needs to
look.
stay. I think all the business owners are gonna say though, I want it to stay.
They want it closer to the back door.
Yeah, 20 feet of my back door.
Yeah.
I'm not going down the street to take,
Yeah,
like today we got 24 boxes in.
Uh-huh.
24 shit. So I don't know. I think, let's look at it. I'd love to look at it because I agree
You would
with
be
you.
the appropriate one to look at it. 'cause
Yeah.
you-
all right, well, I'll
Yeah.
call you. Betsy and I have talked about it, so we'll look at it.
We'll just get it, we'll get some ideas.
One more thing, if I may.
Sure, please.
This has nothing to do with the Breezeway. The mayor knows about this. The Beautification Commission nominated Jane Dunlap for the Louise Godwin Lifetime Achievement Award with Keep Mississippi Beautiful.
Mm.
And it was the very top award, and she was awarded that last week. So she was very shocked when she got to the Jackson Club and saw 16 of her family members from 4 or 5 different states there. Because as she told me today, I thought I was just going down there to get a little old award, and then I saw all my family members.
Yeah.
But she got the top award for the state, and it was a big deal. It will be in the paper Wednesday, and
Right.
the mayor, Becky went, and Laura Jane Jacalia went, so,
Commissioner Simmons spoke. It was
and Senator
a
Simmons
full,
was
full house.
speaker for that day. And it was a packed house. I don't know how many people were there, but it was towns from all over Mississippi. And she was given that lifetime achievement for her work in downtown Cleveland. So I thought you would be proud about
Well, I'm proud of my second grade teacher.
that.
In Shaw, Mississippi.
She was,
That's right.
and I just want to thank all of you because I know that you really, all of you, do so much for this city. And you give of your time, and of course, we know anytime we need Dominic, we need an answer on anything, we know who to call.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you, because y'all do a great job for us.
Thank-
and we
thank
all
both of
appreciate
y'all.
it.
Yeah, God, I hit files.
Well,
on
that's
it.
what I was
Did
gonna
you
say.
slow?
That's the same thing. Everybody says
I thought
that.
y'all couldn't open them
Yeah.
because I couldn't.
Or it just came up. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. you to
Yeah, all the
see that
pictures
one.
came up.
Yeah. Yeah. See
Yeah.
how- We
Korean.
know that, we think that was from 1950, that mural was from 1950.
Good year when I come to
Uh-huh.
So thank you for what you've done. So, now, where was this?
This was,
Tell me this.
okay, that's, yeah, this is where they've gotten that wall.
Moving
They didn't
right
have that
along.
wall. This is where they've gotten that wall replaced. And you can see the floor, it does need something.
Sure,
We can just
it does.
go in with an overlay of concrete and can dress
Have
that
Well,
up.
y'all been to the alleyway yet down at the
I have opened it up for the last-
So that's better. The doorways were left.
I'm gonna have to put your 5-minute sign back up.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate all
Thank you.
y'all do.
Come back and get me in the store.
I will, I'll come get you a lot.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank y'all. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you. All right, public hearing.
Bye-bye.
109 South Christmas Avenue, Rowena Morris, 1402 Church Avenue, Idella Swanigan, 1710 North Davis Avenue, Suite G, WDG Cleveland LLC, 732 South Christmas Avenue, Helen Christian Morris, 806 Church Avenue, Leo Alexander Foster et al. 122 Wade Grove, Carlin Lathan. 1107 and 1109 College Street, Bailey Investment is requesting a 30-day extension. 807 South Court Street, E&W Investment Properties, 805 South Court Street, E&W Investment Properties. Flipping over to the next page, 205 East.
Where is that? That's in the Court Street, is that?
Far down toward Delta State.
Okay. And EW, so
Sure did.
Didn't have a name.
Troy Gary.
Okay. That would be like almost down to where Mr. Ashton's old house. No, older gentleman that used to have Ben Franklin that was here. Okay.
We're going way back.
205 East Carpenter Street, Crown Communication, Inc. 705 Hadley Street, Gloria McLaurin. 707 Hadley Street, Florence Aiken Sutton. 625 Alo Avenue, Burnell Hutton. 903 South Chrisman Avenue, Gilda Gunn. 211 South Fifth Avenue, again, E&W Investment Properties LLC. 622 Pearl Avenue, Moselle Blockett. 403 South Davis Avenue, Enos Hamden. And 1205 North Yale Street, Marion Rains, and one final one, 105 South 3rd Street, ALE and Marion T. Williams. Again, no progress. Has there been anyone to appear other than one request for a 30-day extension?
Yes, sir.
It would be in order for the board to find and adjudicate as to those properties read, with the exception of the 1107 and 1109 college property requested was 30 days.
Make a motion.
Rob made a motion, Gary second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay. All right, engineering, Josh.
Guys, I believe you all have a copy of my report. I'm just going to hit a couple of the high point action items. First, we did submit our street plan for this year. I believe you have the master street list as well. We uploaded this afternoon, showing several $1 million just worth of different areas that we've been looking at prioritizing. And then we narrowed it down to what we're using our current budget for. So we have that for approval. If there's any questions?
Need a motion? Rob made a motion, Dave second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay.
And the only other thing is we took bids on the city hall exterior renovation, and we are recommending to award to the low bidder.
So move.
Gary made a motion. Dave second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. What kind of time frame is that?
Sir,
When are they gonna be able to get to that?
I don't know. I'll have to get an update. I'm not sure what the delays on some of the materials are going to be. I know paint's pretty problematic now, and I know windows are a nightmare to get. So
Yeah.
I'll get you an update.
Okay.
You know, and I'll say this real quick. You know, one time we talked about expanding this boardroom. Is that not feasible?
Let's fix it up first.
It wasn't.
I understand. I'm just asking.
the problem is the
There's two vaults, right?
That's why I was
Yeah,
asking.
that-
The
that-
cast.
I thought there was a problem.
Yeah,
I
they
couldn't
had a
remember what.
vault that
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Right.
two cast iron bolts.
Yeah.
Right there.
And we looked at going upstairs.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I just couldn't remember what the deal was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Not two.
All right, is that all with engineering?
Yes, that's all I have.
Okay, Danny,
Yes, for the consent agenda is 4 units, motion and second to approve.
Brian,
Second.
here, y'all in favor, say aye. Opposed, okay.
And the next thing you'll notice in the city attorney box, for me, go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Okay. Look, this idea came to us from one of our judges that was attending a conference, and to most everybody, and Buster has reviewed it. What's in your box here would be an ordinance that you would adopt, and it would dramatically increase the fines for discharging a weapon inside city limits. Now, there are circumstances that you could discharge a weapon inside the city limits that wouldn't apply. That would be like, you got circumstances where it's legal to do so by state statute. And then if we were gonna have a race, somebody could go to the police department, get permission to use a starter pistol. But otherwise, if you shoot a gun up in the air in Cleveland, Mississippi, under this ordinance, you would get a mandatory 15 days jail time and $500 fine for the first offense. Of course, the city is going to seek seizure of your weapon under state law as well. And then the second offense, it would double.
I thought it was 30.
It starts 15 on the first. and second line.
I had two comments. I'm fully supportive of this. One, there is a doctrine in the law that provides, it's called a castle doctrine. And it's common law, it's not even statutory law. But as a person who defends their home business or car can use a firearm with deadly force, is that exempt from this?
Yes, it is. That would be a lawful use. It's common law.
Long as that-
Yes.
And secondly, I mentioned to you, because I was talking to the judge, and the king of matches. And there may be circumstances where a person is found guilty of discharging a weapon, but they can't find the weapon. Somebody saw him do it, saw her do it. And they provide that sentence can be first offense suspended if they forfeit the gun, bring the gun, say, okay, here's the gun. I'll give the gun up instead of serving 15 days.
And that would be wonderful. The way we would deal with that would be the next step. You could adopt it tonight as an emergency measure to take effect upon publication, or you could take this as a reading tonight and adopt it at your second meeting. But in either instance, the plan is to immediately go meet with some folks down at the police department, the judges, the municipal court, and the prosecutor to make sure everybody's on the same page. And we would cover what Kirk was speaking of. The other thing that we're doing is I've already spoken with the sheriff, always spoken with the city attorney for Marigold and Bull, and I haven't found Renova yet, but we're going to circulate this similar language to the buffer around Cleveland. And the sheriff was very supportive of that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm agreeing with me. I saw him move it. I'm gonna make a motion that we accept it, and then we fine tune it and make it.
Yes, sir, you can do that.
Well, okay, make sure, give you 72 hours, you're gonna have these meetings with the police. And if you add that provision about the forfeiture of the gun, it's not found at the scene of the crime, the person is convicted, that gets the gun off the street. And so anyway, that's on the add-on I would have. But I agree, let's go ahead and do something.
Brian,
Danny, I know Kurt talked about castle doctrine, excuse me, and I see in here we're requiring, or you're considering requiring a special permit. In my ward in particular, I've got a number of fields that are within the city limits. What happens if somebody wants to go out there and dove hunt?
If it fits what state law allows by statute, you can dove hunt.
But it doesn't say that in
It does where allowed by law. The way,
I just didn't read that portion.
Okay.
So I may have missed it.
I would
Just wanna
like
make sure
that
that's-
one of the council documents put in there, because there's a lot of sprinkle cases on that.
I suggest to you, and that's the way our ordinances are supposed to be drafted. There's supposed to be a discussion period and then a drafting. There's nothing wrong with us making these add-ins. and having it.
We need to
That's
make
fine.
sure it's
We got a meeting in 2 weeks.
We have
We're
somebody.
gonna meet in 2
that
days.
you-
Yeah,
that you get
Thursday.
at home and shoots
This
gun.
one?
Yes.
Yeah.
A special.
I just want to make sure.
One of the
that's
things
on
we
the
kicked
plate.
around was the specific statute that lets you dove hunt close to town, and Chief and I can put that in.
I'd like to take it up at 2
Fine.
weeks. And then final form,
I agree.
you do it.
We had a motion. Did
I
you?
have no problem with that.
Okay.
Withdraw my motion.
All right.
What else you got?
Nothing until executive session, and actually I don't have much there, so.
All right, Billy Trotter?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
The only item I have is update is from the contractor licensing board. They had one member that fell ill and could no longer attend meetings. And the board searched around, come up with 3 candidates, and they had an election, and they selected Dries Voss to fill the unexpired term of Renell Little, which expires this year in December.
Okay, we need to vote on that.
So moved.
Danny made a motion. Bob second, all in favor, say aye. Vote, okay. Mr. Trotter, what else you got?
That's all I have other than my month report.
I need to ask him
Have
one
anything
thing.
for me?
Yeah, you got a question.
Billy, we had a huge soccer tournament going on this weekend at our new field. And there are 2 or 3 very unsightly houses over there on that street adjacent to the soccer field. Would y'all look over there? I know that there was one right there on the corner of Yale and 6th. And there were several more that their backyards look horrendous. And we had all kind of people from out of town here, and it really looks bad.
It's to the east of the field, what you're saying. Back there.
They're on the south side.
Yeah.
It's down their south yards. It's the north end of the field.
I will check it out. I see one got adjudicated tonight. I'll check on the other 2.
Okay, Kirk's got a
I
question.
had one spot, and I was glad to call me. It's just on the west side of Crystal, across from Mr. Collins' parking lot. That huge lot there. It's got pretty bad shape.
I'm sorry, I can't hear him.
I'll call you after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Mr. Trotter, I want to commend you. You're really doing a good job. We've got to stay ahead of this grass cutting. And in department head meeting this morning, I know I mentioned because I know we have some city properties that we're behind on as well. So it's kind of hard, as I told Steve O and Jason this morning, to get on somebody else about their yard when we hadn't taken care of our own. So, and I know we're shorthanded, but let's just all work on the same accord there and keep things going. But this grass can really get ahead of you if we don't stay on top of it, as you know.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Anna.
How are y'all?
Good, girl.
You have my report. If you need anything else, y'all just let me know.
Y'all ain't got to worry about that, girl.
Awesome report.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Okay. Buster.
Okay, thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Same thing, y'all have my report, unless you have any questions. I also want to call in. If we have anything extra, that's the reason why I tried to send out text message to each and every one of them.
I actually have one question. Those numbers you gave us from April, those numbers, the court fines, they from this period, April. Just
Okay. Further questions? Okay, Greg.
You have mine in front of you as well. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. I don't have anything else.
Questions for Greg and Buster? Okay. Anytime Greg and Buster say that they've had a slow month, that's really good news. So we'll move on to Jamie.
Good evening. It was not a slow month for us, but it never is in the springtime. We took in about 89 this past month, which is the second worst month since I've been here for April. We're at 304 intakes for the year so far, which is about on track for us. I did want to mention we had 3 bike quarantines this month. 2 were from county, 1 was from city. And we want to try to get ahead of it because every summer, once the kids are out of school, we get really inundated with bike quarantines with, dogs being let loose and there's more children on the street. So if y'all do have any citizens come to y'all complaining about dogs that are running loose, let us know and we'll get Chris on it and kind of patrol that area more, especially with summer starting, because we're really trying to cut down on the bike quarantines in the city this time of year. But other than that, unless y'all have questions for me.
Well, I think it's notable that we talked about the progress on the different stages of the animal shelter, and we're talking about this alley was rotten. The whole animal shelter was rotten when we got the second phase, and so where we thought maybe in June or so we would have a grand opening, it'll probably be more like September. But there is work going on daily. Okay, with that being said, we'll go to Hannah.
Y'all have my monthly report. If y'all have any questions.
Questions upon? He's doing a good job. too. When you don't have questions, you must be doing a good job. Good job. Okay, Steve-O.
Good evening, y'all. I don't have anything outside my report unless y'all have anything for me.
Hey, Steve, the sign on,
Yes,
Highway
ma'am.
61 in Eastover,
Yes, ma'am.
we're gonna put that back up.
Yes, ma'am. We're waiting on a bracket.
Okay.
The bottom of the bracket was broken. We're waiting on that. And we got a bunch of stuff ordered for that. And the pole at Court and Pierman. We're waiting on all that stuff to come in so we can get it back up.
Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. Thank y'all.
Clint?
Good evening, Mayor. I don't have anything else to add tonight unless anybody has any questions for me.
Questions of Clint? Okay.
Mayor, we're going to take a session. I'll have a couple of quick updates on these.
Okay, good. Okay, Jason?
All right, so Jason is in the parks
Oh,
tonight.
yeah.
Yes. So this is the first night for Amzie Moore, for us playing there. And so he's running crazy with the games tonight. And so he does have 2 quotes on there. This was budgeted this year. So he's wanting to resurface Bearpin Park and also Bearpin tennis courts, and then also Fireman's 2 tennis courts as well, if y'all want to approve the lowest and best for those.
Okay, I've got a question on that. I was approached, the fireman tennis court. Would that be a possibility? That be pickleball courts? Something that's not a good idea.
No, I just thought they were gonna do tennis. out there.
Yeah, you know, they're using
kitchen.
the armory.
Yeah,
for
that's
pickle-
the people that approached. that
Oh,
group.
okay. They wanted outdoor court.
They wanted outdoor courts, and they said. the
It's just a
fireman
matter
part
of
was not-
striping.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I
That'd
was
be
going
good.
back.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a problem. Let's get them resurfaced and then you can double stripe them. One's for tennis and one for pickleball.
Okay.
Multi.
I don't think that's on this quote, but we can.
Okay.
ask
That's
them.
not that ain't gonna be an expensive
Okay, I'm
fix.
just, it was
To
brought up to
restripe
me
it.
this past weekend by the whole group.
Yeah. I make a motion, we accept the quotes.
Gary, Danny, all in favor, say aye.
Let's look at the pickleball.
They-
That's
They
good.
really want it.
That's good. You'll see a lot more use in pickleball than you would tennis.
Oh, they have packed grounds.
Mm-hmm. A lot of old people playing.
I heard some y'all doing that.
That's what I heard.
All right,
I ain't got that yet.
is that all on Jason? Okay, Dominique.
All right, so we've got 2 change orders. The mayor mentioned earlier about the animal shelter renovation. So with phase 2, that was basically opening up the back portion of the animal shelter, the roughest part. And so you guys allocated an additional $139,000 for that project. We have 2 additional change orders. One will address the drainage. It's a complete drainage plan addressing the exterior, basically the east side, basically all around. So adding crushed stone, different things to ensure that we don't have flooding back into the building, which is what we had before. So that is a change order. And then there's another change order to basically lay this kind of chemical over the surface on phase 2, basically, I don't want to say on Ardex, something like that, which basically would fill in a bunch of the holes. And so when they were pulling up the old fences and kennels, it left a bunch of holes in the concrete in the back. So part of that is a safety issue. Part of it is cosmetic. So we're asking for you guys to approve a change order to seal and cover that back portion concrete. So
What's that doing to our budget?
yes, so with that, I actually did a quick calculation on the back of my page. So that will eat up the 139 that you guys recently allocated, to the point that it would eat up even a little bit more, $3,900 over the 139. Okay, we still have a little over 30,000 left in contingency. Okay, so we're still doing okay.
Still
We're
good.
still under our original budget.
Okay.
That 3,900 my ask tonight is to carry that instead of that hitting the contingency, because we still have a whole nother phase 3, which is the front office part that we haven't opened up yet. So we want to try to maintain that contingency and then just hit that 3,900 to the animal shelter budget, if y'all are okay with that.
That's fine.
So,
Fine with me.
okay. So we're okay right now, but we're more than halfway done.
We
with
don't
the
need a
project.
motion. do we?
We
Yes,
do
for the
need a
change
motion.
orders,
Danny made
yes.
a motion. Yeah, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the next thing I have, this is just selecting Ely McPherson as consultants for our Rosemary Road project. So,
Robert. Second. Third, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
the only other thing I have is, you guys during budget time, approved us to be able to enter into an agreement with a company called TextMyGov, which allows us to, or citizens, to text in an issue, and then basically using AI, it's going to respond back. So that is up live. So if you go to our website, there's a little widget that pops up that says TextMyGov on it. I would say you guys try it out. I'm going to read the number out since we're on YouTube, and you guys can text it. All right, so the number is 662-441-4414.
Couple of fours.
Yeah. Oh, no. So since we're on YouTube, I wanted to read the number out. So if y'all see on my phone, this is our website, if y'all can see that. And they can just go text that number and say they text pothole, and it'll start asking them questions. What's your address? Send us a picture. And so it's just going to be a way that if you're after hours and you run across a pothole at 8 o'clock at night, you can't call City Hall, but you can report it via text. Okay. So y'all can spread the news about that. Oh yeah. So we're
I
excited.
got a mayor from Lewis, Mississippi, that kind of put me on that. He said that it really saved him a lot of
I
headache.
bet it saves a bunch of calls to the mayor.
Yeah.
Worked real well.
So it will. So it will let you keep progress of your work order that you put in as well. If you go on our website, you can put in your work order number or your last name, it'll let you. But if any citizen has any questions, y'all can just direct them to Michelle or I, and we'll get them taken care of. And that's all I have. Oh, last thing, Mr. Patrick Grace, one of the coaches that's been that was at our meeting last week, is inviting you guys to come to their game next Monday, the games at Amzie Moore. So he asked them. They start the games, I believe the first game is at 5:30. So Patrick Grace, one of the coaches, wanted to cordially invite the board to come out to Amzie Moore to take a look at the games and the law enforcement presence and all that. If you guys hadn't, he asked you guys to come tonight, but I told him we had a meeting. So, okay. All right, that's all I had, Mayor.
Elvin?
Oh,
Up to you.
have we gotten the clear glow of the budgeting software implemented yet?
Yes. Thank y'all so much. So Michelle's over there giggling. So we had our first little implementation meeting last week. All of our data is in the system.
Wow.
And it's really cool. We can see trends and we can compare ourselves to different peer groups. So yes, it's implemented, and we're going to start getting our department heads to start entering their information in June.
So when will we be able to start seeing something?
I can send y'all a login in the morning so y'all can see it. Y'all, it's amazing just to see it.
Well, and the thing Dominique and I have been talking, and Michelle, we've been talking about this for years. We have not been able to do any long range planning, and we have got to do it. And this software is going to allow us to do that.
So I would pull it up now, but anyway, I'll send y'all the login and y'all can see it. And like I said, down to the line item, we can see if we've over budgeted for the past 6 years, under budgeted, line item by line item. We're really excited. So thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Elvin?
Good evening, everyone. Of course, first off, you'll see my monthly report is uploaded with items that we have going on. The first thing I need approval on is the employee action recommendation, unless you guys have any questions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
So
Ryan, all in favor, say aye.
Nah,
Okay,
I do have a question.
okay.
Heather, and I don't know if it's even appropriate to do it. I know, I see that we're short officers, obviously, with Buster, and then Steve O's short with Public Works. What are we doing besides publishing in the newspaper to?
We
recruit
posted on
employees?
we posted on our Facebook page, we posted in the Bolivar Bullet, we posted on our website, and I also posted on MDES, and I'm working on some other outlets,
Have any luck?
especially with the police department. I'm sorry, Brian, I didn't hear that question.
Are we having any luck, any success?
No, sir. We actually this past 2 weeks, I have not received one application.
Okay.
Ella, I'm curious, I know that I don't have any information about publications that maybe apply to law enforcement, or maybe you can law enforcement for the city of Cleveland online or whatever.
On the law enforcement, I can barely
Get the
hear you.
word out across the state that we have a-
Yeah, I can barely hear you, Kirk, but on the law enforcement, I have reached out to Tupelo, which is where we send our officers, and I'm waiting for her to email me back to see if there's a way, because they are allowing self-sponsors now, and I want to publish our information there to let them know that we have availability, and I'm waiting on an email back from her. I actually got that information from Mitch Milliken.
Thank you. I will
Yes,
say,
sir.
Mayor, that some of the other parts, they don't hear any of the people. Okay, that's not a real, is that, can you hear me now?
A little, Kirk.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
I mean, okay. I know y'all not trying to leave without it.
No. Okay, anything else for Howard? Okay, thank you, Howard.
I've got one more item, Mayor.
Okay, I beg your pardon. Go ahead.
It's okay. The next thing is the travel policy. Remember last board meeting, I uploaded that for you guys to just review. And tonight I'm asking for approval of that policy. We had to revamp it completely. Dominique, I, and Danny have actually went through that, and Jamie even helped us out with it. So we're asking for approval of that tonight.
Robert made a motion, Brian second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Robert?
Yeah, I don't have much. Just want to say summer months is approaching. The school is about to be out. So we make sure we do everything we can. You know, since our police departments endeavor to make sure that we do everything we can. Have somebody dealing with those parts. We need to make sure we got somebody out there.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah, I sent us down, it's a picture of I think it's during the storm where on East End and Andrew Street, there is I guess it's some overhang, maybe it's some tin. It's on the light pole. I don't know who we contact, whether we contact Infogene or whomever to check on that, because that could be potential.
Is there somebody land?
She posted, Dominic posted a copy of the city clerk. So there'll be some metal.
So I don't know who to contact. Whether introduce it to remove it, but it's a potential hazard.
I sent it to Steve and Josh.
Yes, I have two things I want to mention. In Ward 6, it seemed like the mechanics are getting larger and larger. We have two streets that you have at least two mechanics on there, and they are double parking. You can't get down the streets at all. You can't get through there. And even we had one case where we let traffic go through there, and the mechanic head was up under the car, but his feet were out, in the street. And you stop and ask him to move, good gracious. So You really need to check on that.
I tell you what, you need to go make an appointment with Mr. Trotter and you and him take a ride.
Yeah, I'd be more than glad.
How about doing that? That's a good way to take care of things with yourself.
Right.
We need to get some signage up. I don't know which one of those, no parking. Mr. Carter and find out, but there's no signs up in any area down there that says no parking. So we can't enforce something that there's no sign.
Or we can get some signs up.
So,
So,
but I won't get Mr. Trotter, see if there's some places that are already designated as no parking.
but you,
Well, I'd be more than glad that you will.
you get with Mr. Trotter on these, where these garages are in residential areas.
I mean, it's been
Okay, yeah.
a couple things. This weekend, I don't know if anybody was out, the town was full of people. I mean, it was pretty pleasing to see how many people we had in this town. We had so many events going on. I took two of my grandkids to Hey Joe's at 1 o'clock. And it took us 2 hours to get our food. Everything was so backed up. But the one thing I noticed while I was sitting there, that red light at Hey Joe's is a starting point for drag racing. It is absolutely unreal. I mean, tires squalling
Right here.
right at that red light, and guys would get right up beside each other. And when them lights changed, it was like we had NASCAR. We need to occasionally have some police presence there or something. I didn't realize it was that bad. It was unreal though. And the only other thing I want to talk about, and I brought this up before, and I don't know if we can do anything about this, Mayor. But that guy, I don't know if it's becoming a junkyard or he's working on cars, but it's straight across the street from our cemetery on North Mile. And they're getting more and more cars
Right on
there,
that little
and it's
bridge.
right on the edge of the city limits.
Yeah.
But it's right across from one of our Cleveland cemeteries that we maintain. I don't know how we can deal with that, Danny. I know I brought that up before, and
I've got a copy of the county zoning map. See how it's zoned.
I wrote a letter to the county on behalf of the city, and Mr. Bill Quinton is handling it from a floodplain standpoint, and he says he's getting some action taken. Supposed to been this morning at the county board meeting. I'll follow up with him and see where we at with it though. But I did write a letter on the city behalf about that across from the cemetery.
thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have an economic development issue to bring up in executive session.
Yes, sir. All right.
Covered everything.
Mayor, I appreciate Hunter being available on a couple of our great citizens having problems. He's done a great job. But Hunter, are we up to date on flushing out our water hydrants?
Yes, sir. Mr. George does a couple of those every day when we get the chance to.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I think you can tell by the lack of questions we have for a lot of people. What a good job our department is doing. I can't
Excellent.
say enough good things about it. That's all I got, Kirk. If you want to.
Mr. Mayor, I move we consider an executive session for these reasons: economic development issues, impact, possible renovation update, attorney property acquisition, property donation, and I've got an airport report on some issues on the airport.
Second.
Second by Gary, all in favor, say aye.
I move we enter executive session for the same.
Kirk.
Second.
Gary, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now go to executive session.